Today we are going to talk about property in Costa del Sol and particularly in Marbella. In order to discuss this topic, today I invited Mariano Beristain, who is a real estate agent in Diana Morales company. Thank you very much, Mariano, for coming. Diana Morales has very strong position on the real estate market in Marbella, and Dan Morales is an exclusive representative of Knight Frank here in Marbella. So thanks again for coming. Could you please tell us about your company a little bit more, and which type of property you are focusing in here in Marbella, and which areas you are covering?
Right. Our company was founded by Diana Morales 30 years ago, 1989. She had been working on the real estate business for more than 40 years. At the beginning, she started her company with Sotheby's. Then she moved to Christie's Great Estates, and since 2014, we joined Knight Frank. As you say before, we are the exclusive representatives of Knight Frank in Andalusia. We are focused on the mid-high-end market. We cover the whole area from, let's say, probably Elviria up to Estepona. Although we are specialized at Marbella market, but we do cover those areas as well. And in our company, we have a great staff which speaks Spanish, English, Russian, German, French, and Italian. So we cover most of the nationalities of the clients looking for properties at Marbella.
So why Marbella is so popular among foreign buyers? Is it all about lifestyle or price for the property or international schools, the weather?
I think it's probably a combination of all those factors. At Marbella, well, it's fair to say that our main asset here is the weather, right? We have a macroclimate, and I think that's our main asset. We have more than 320 sunshine days here. So that combined with the fact that we have a lot of things to do here, we have the most prestigious resorts in the city. We have a ski center 2 hours away, theaters, cinemas. We've got a lot of things to enjoy life in the city. So a combination of all those factors, I think, is what makes Marbella very special and one of the most attractive, probably, cities in Europe to come and live.
And which nationalities are the biggest buyers in Marbella now?
We are a very international city here. There are more than 140 nationalities living here. Probably the main buyers are British, Germans, French, Scandinavians, and Dutch, also Russians. Those are the main buyers at the moment in the city. But let's not forget the Arabs, which have been coming to Marbella since the 60s. So Arabs also represents a big portion of the tart in Marbella.
So what are the most popular and the most prestigious area in Marbella? And do the client usually buy property close to the sea here in this area, or a bit up to the mountains? Which kind of property mainly they choose?
The most popular area is Golden Mile, which is the area between Marbella and Puerto Banús, right? So that's by far our most popular area. Yeah, the clients normally they come looking for beachside properties or properties close to the sea. Although there are some clients who prefer to be mountainside and to enjoy more inland activities. And but yeah, I would say that Golden Mile is our most popular area. Although we don't have to forget about Zagaleta, which is the most prestigious urbanization in Europe. It's 15 kilometers inland, less than 20 minutes driving from the city center, and it features 24-hour security, 2 golf courses, tennis club, horse rider center, helipad. I mean, it has everything that a person could need to live in a very prestigious place. So La Sagaleta also worth mentioning because it's also very well known in Spain.
How the property are presented here? Is it individual villas or apartments mainly?
We are talking about Golden Mile, right, or Marbella in general?
General, I would say. It's a gated community with apartments,
right.
Or it is
we do
mostly,
have
let's
individual
say,
villas, townhouses, and apartments, and some of them are within a gated complex. Or it's fair to say that Marbella is a very secure city, right? It's a very safe city, so to be in a gated community is not that important. But mainly properties are, as I said before, then townhouses, apartments, and individual villas. And we do have some complexes which offers a lot of services. So in an urbanization, you might have a indoor swimming pool, gyms, even golf, and a lot of services, so that people could enjoy of that without having to go outside.
I wonder if you could tell us about the real estate market now. Where is the price? Is it on the top or in the bottom or in the middle? How the price has changed over
we had
past
a
years?
Big crisis here between 2008 and probably 2011, 12. Since 2012, prices have been growing. And up to now, I would say that prices increased almost 30% since then. So I think now prices are growing, although we have to be a bit conscious about the Brexit and the effects of the Brexit. But at the moment, I'm positive. As I said before, since 2012, the prices have been growing in a very strong position, in a very strong demand.
So could you tell us about the buying process from start to finish, step by step?
Normally, if all the paperwork is in place, takes no more than a month. The buyer pay a small amount of money to put the property off market, and in a couple of weeks, we sign a private contract between the parties. And providing everything is in place, the transaction could be done in less than a month. So it's a very simple process that normally takes between 30-45 days. Different scenario could be if the property has some legal issues, then obviously the lawyers would have to work on that, and the process could be delayed. But normally in 30-45 days, a deal can be done.
So what about extra expenses like VAT, notary expenses if it's necessary, lawyer expense if it's necessary?
When you buy a property here, you have to calculate an estimated fee of 12%, counting all together. When you buy a new property, the VAT is 10%.
So usually it's not included in the price.
No, it's not included in the price.
So if you have a look at the property on the website or on the internet, it's with no VAT.
Exactly. On the top of that, you have to calculate between 11 and 12%. VAT for new properties is 10%, and if you buy a second-hand property, the transmission tax goes from 8 to 10%.
Still the same.
Yeah, very similar. And then on the top of that, you have to calculate the notary fees, which is between 1 and 1.25%. And obviously the lawyer fees, which could be negotiated with them, but goes from 0.5 to 1%. So that would be the purchase expenses if you are looking to buy a property in Marbella.
Is it necessary to have a lawyer? Because I know that in some countries it's not really necessary.
It's not a must. We do advise to buyers to hire one, because there are some issues, some local issues, which might be a bit, I wouldn't say complicated, but we do advise people to hire a lawyer, at least to have a guide, and I would say that 95% of the people do their transactions with a lawyer. although locals, Spanish people, they don't use lawyers, but most of the foreign people do. Yeah,
Okay.
it's not necessary. It's not a must, but we do advise them to
Even
hire a
if
lawyer.
the property is quite clean and
Well, but that's a lawyer who will tell you that everything
it's
is
not
in
a real
place.
estate. A real estate company has nothing to do with checking.
No,
the
we don't.
property.
Although we do know which urbanizations are legal, which urbanizations might have some problems. So we do know that, and we start to give advice to the clients. But from the strict point of view of the legal advisors, we cannot, guarantee that. So that's why we advise them to go for a lawyer. Yeah.
So then, if let's imagine that a client bought already, then he has to pay expenses every year. So maintenance fee usually and property tax. How is it?
There's a property tax, as you said, which is called IBI. IBI. It's a municipal tax, right? And that depends on the size of the property, the location. For example, if in Benahavis or Estepona is not the same, or Marbella if is also more expensive, for example. So that's one of the expenses you have whenever you have a property here. And then obviously there's a community fees, which depends on the services that you've got. It's not the same if you've got a property in an urbanization where there's only a swimming pool than if you are in an urbanization with much more services like gym, tennis court, 24-hour security, landscaped gardens. So community also depends on the services provided by the community.
And how much is approximately minimum, let's say maximum and average?
The basic complexes, probably in basic complexes, you pay 80, 90 euros per month, right? Where you only have a swimming pool, let's say. And there are some other urbanizations in Marbella where you could be paying up to 1,000 euros per month, but you also have much more services, right? So you have a indoor swimming pool, gym, sauna, tennis courts, security, and much more services. So that goes according to the services provided.
So it all depends on the infrastructure what a complex has.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it possible to get a mortgage here? And if yes, so how much it could be? Like 50, 60, 70, 100%?
European residents are obtaining up to 70, in some cases 80%
really?
mortgages. Yeah. That depends as well on the on your guarantees and your type of income. But Europeans are obtaining up to 70-80%, and the fix and the interest, the fixed rate at the moment it's between 2.5-3%, and that's the fixed rate, yes, and the variable rates are around 1.5%. So compared to some other countries are very interested rates. I know, for example, that in Russia it's much more expensive. So
yes,
most of them, when they come to Marbella, they get crazy about having a mortgage here because of the advantage of the interest. Same happened with the South Americans. They find the rates here very attractive. But for non-Europeans, the maximum that they can obtain is up to 50%. Mortgage.
But do usually international buyers obtain a mortgage, or they pay cash?
I think I would say 50-50. Most of them have the money ready to buy, but sometimes they've got some advantages by obtaining a mortgage in terms of taxes and so on. So some of them go for mortgages, but not because they need, but because in terms of taxes they obtain some advantages. So I would say 50-50 probably.
I know that many international buyers are coming here to Marbella and buying property and live for a season, and many of them the clients are also living for a whole year, because here there is a good infrastructure for living, including international schools as well. So international schools are well known. Can you tell us a bit about this?
Yeah, most of the people who buys property in Marbella are people who use their properties as even to live here or second home properties for holidays. And as you say, Marbella has been growing a lot in the last, I would say, probably 15, 20 years. Before, only people in their 50s and 60s came to buy here. But in the last 10 years, we've seen a lot of young people coming to the city. Nowadays, you can work, using internet and traveling a couple of times per week. So, we do have very good infrastructures to attract that young people. We have now 10 international schools, Germans, English, French, even Swedish schools as well. So the city is growing in a very good way in terms of attracting some different people, not only the people in the 50s and 60s who come to play golf.
So what is the most, let's say, prestigious schools?
There are many of them, but probably the two best well-known are Aloha College and the Swans as well. Those are the most established international schools in Marbella.
I'm aware that here in Andalusia and Costa del Sol there are many golf courses, and many golf players are coming to play and spend time here. So are there many properties on the golf courses in Marbella?
Yeah, actually, I don't know if you're aware, but we are known as well as not only Costa del Sol, but Costa del Golf as well.
Interesting.
Yeah, there are 70 golf courses in the area, and 15 of them in Marbella and the surroundings. And six of them actually held PGA tournaments, which are very prestigious, we've got a lot of clients looking for golf properties, mainly because of the view. Whenever you are first line golf, you got a fantastic greenery landscape, and that's a very important thing for the buyers. So I would say that second in line after the sea view, I would consider the golf view as the second most desired properties.
So do clients usually buy property for their own use or in order to rent it out, and they buy it as an investment?
No, most of the clients buy the properties to their own use. As I said before, most of them live here all year round, and some of them just buy here to have a holiday house, but most of them buy for their personal use. The percentage of people who just invest for the rental income is actually very, very small.
But I think it's quite profitable to have an apartment or a villa and rent it out here, especially in the high season, because I just came and it was quite difficult to find something in Marbella or nearby, close to the sea, for a good price.
Yeah, the net income has increased in the last few years. I'd say that now probably you can obtain a net profit of 5-6%. Net, yeah, after expenses. But even though the main buyers here are people who's using their properties for holiday or to live here. But yeah, of course, it is a good investment, and you can make a good profit if you rent out your property here.
Is it possible to obtain a residence permit here when you buy a property?
Yeah, we have the golden visa here. If you spend more than 500,000 euros in a property, or you invest that amount in business, you can obtain the residency in Spain. Although if you want to buy a property here, it's not a must to be a resident in Spain. So, but yeah, we do have the golden visa, and we are seeing many people coming here to buy properties in order to obtain that. Particularly people coming from China, India, or Russia, some countries from the East which don't belong to the European community. So we do have the golden visa, yeah.
So about the restriction, are there any restrictions for international buyers to buy property here in Marbella? Are there any special areas, or they can buy anywhere as locals?
Exactly, you can buy anywhere. There's no restrictions whatsoever in Marbella as long as you file the legal points and that the bank accepts your money. Then you are free to buy properties whenever you want. We don't have any restrictions like for example in states, in some buildings you have to be accepted by the rest of the community. That doesn't happen here in Marbella. You're free to buy wherever you want.
So why Marbella? How stable is the economy?
Well, as I said at the very beginning, here we have a fantastic weather, and then together with that, we offer a lot of things to people who come to live here. We've got 2 international airports, very well connected, within 1 hour driving distance, Gibraltar and Malaga. Direct flights to more than 100 cities, including, for example, New York, Moscow. We have the main resorts coming to invest in Marbella, Four Seasons, Club Med. We have the ski within 2 hours driving as well, the ski resort, Sierra Nevada. Theater, cinemas. I think, we have Puerto Banús, which is one of the top marinas in Europe, with all the shops, the trendy shops. People love to come here and go for a coffee to Puerto Banús, and I think it's a combination of all those factors what makes Marbella very special.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Mariano. Thank you. So in your team, I know that you have any language speakers.
We do actually. We speak at our office. We speak Spanish, English, and then also Russian, French, German, and Italian. So we are open to receive all those nationalities. And over the 30 years, we actually sold properties to an incredible amount of different nationalities, and we can offer our services to them.
So thank you very much for coming.
Welcome.
Thank you for the interview. Thank you, everyone. Please let me know if you have any questions regarding the property in Marbella, and we would be happy to help you
Thank you.
find the house of your dreams.